Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I want to talk about the Sony PlayStation Vita and in particular the differences between the original and the Slim model, because I have just picked up a Slim model and it is fantastic. So I owned an original model about 18 months ago, absolutely loved it, sold it, regretted it, and now I've picked up a Slim model. And what is the differences between the two? Well, let's start off with the fact that it's called a Slim. So it is 20% thinner, but in reality it feels a lot more. The design of the original one had this real thick feel to it with a silver rim around most of the device itself. This has gone, it's gone for a more of a sleek look. The edges are sort of chamfered up straight to the side of the console itself, and in the hand it just feels a lot thinner, lighter, easier to handle than the original model. Base specs for both of the systems are quad-core Cortex A9 processor, 512 meg of RAM and 128 meg of video RAM. The original model didn't have any internal memory. The Slim, however, was given 1 gig of internal space, so that means you didn't have to buy a memory card to use it. However, if you did buy a memory card, and Sony loved to use their own style memory cards, so you've got this PlayStation Vita card here. This is an 8 gig model, but if you put this in a Slim with its 1 gig internal, then you lose the 1 gig. It transfers everything over to this. So it's nice that Sony put in built-in memory, but it's just a shame that you lost it once you put a memory card in. So let's look at other changes between the two. The original one is called the OLED, and when they brought out the Slim, they changed the screen on it. So the original one had an OLED screen, and this one here, the Slim, just has a normal LCD screen. Now there's a big hoo-ha about that. Personally, I really can't see much of a difference. Yes, the OLED screen seems brighter, the colours seem a little bit richer, the blacks seem a bit darker, but there isn't a huge amount of difference. If you haven't got both of them side by side, you really aren't going to be able to tell the difference. The screen on the Slim is still absolutely phenomenal. There's nothing wrong with that screen at all. Other changes between the two: when Sony released the original model, it had its own charging port, as Sony like to do. However, when they brought out the Slim model, they did change that for a micro USB port, which is a lot better for charging, and it means you can use your own charger. The original model had an expansion port along here. For what, I don't know anybody that used it, and when they brought out the Slim, they got rid of it. This here is where your game cart goes in there. So I have got, what have I got in here today? I've got Little Big Planet. The only port on the top is for your game card. Now on the original model, when you powered it on or when you were charging it, the little PlayStation logo there would light up. That's gone in favour of a second LED up here. So this one is your power LED and this one is your charging LED. And when you switch it on, it flashes, I think. In terms of buttons, Sony know how to make a controller. Their PlayStation controllers are fantastic, and there's no exception on the Vita or the PSP for that matter. So you've got your D-pad, which is fantastic. The square, triangle, circle and X buttons there, they do seem to feel a little small, but they're absolutely fantastic to use. You've got your twin sticks, which was a major selling point for the Vita, something that the PSP lacked. They are very short little sticks. They were on the original model as well, but they are just perfect to use. I think the fact that they're quite short means that you can play it with sort of the ball of your thumb here, using the sticks, and then your thumb reaches to the other button. So it makes it fantastic. And then you've got these two little shoulder buttons, which are a lot better on the Slim. I think they're a little bit bigger on the original model. The Slim has a little bit of a better battery. You get an extra hour, so you can probably get about 6 to 7 hours out of the Slim, whereas you'd only get 5 to 6 out of the original model. And the only other difference I know between the two different models are that the Slim comes in various different colours. I think you can get it in white and blue, but the original model, as far as I know, is only available in black. I'm sure there were third-party cases that you could buy, but straight from Sony, the original model only came in black, but the Slim was available in blue and white and obviously this black here. Let's talk about the feel of the console itself. Both consoles are fingerprint magnets. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it really does sort of smudge quite easily. It's pretty hard to pick up on this camera, but sort of all around here and the screen once it's off. Let's turn it off. See if you can see it once it's off. Oh yeah, there you go, look. So you can see that it really is a bit of a smudgy fingerprint magnet. This is a smaller version than the original one, and you had more of an area to get fingerprints on the original one, but it's still an issue with this. Oh look, there you can see it there, look. So yeah, it is a fingerprint magnet because of the glossiness of it. I think some of the other colours, like possibly the blue, this was more of a matte feel, so that would have been less of a fingerprint. And the other difference between the original and the Slim is that the touchpad on the back is smaller on the Slim. Not that many people used it, or it was used in many games, but as you can see again, it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet. I've had this for a little while, and I've spent most of my time just trying to clean those smudges off, and as much as you do it, then when you sort of play it and your hands are all over it, they get back there again. There we go. So that is pretty much the differences between the two consoles. So you've got a different screen technology, a larger battery in the Slim, micro USB in the Slim, losing the expansion port in the Slim. It's slimmer and it's lighter, and it's available in different colours, and there probably were a few other things that I didn't mention, but there we go. Overall, this is a fantastic console. I've told you the processor, the RAM and the video RAM in these, but they also have built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, microphone, a camera, a front-facing camera and a rear-facing camera, your two thumbsticks, which just make playing first-person shooter games and open-world games absolutely fantastic. Touchscreen on the front, touchpad on the back. This thing really was feature packed, and bear in mind that it came out sort of 2011, 2012. The specs of it were superb, far better than anything portable, at least on the market. But alas, it didn't do very well. I think it was released at the wrong time, sort of 2011. Dedicated handheld consoles were sort of on the way out. Smartphones were on the way in. Sony made a lot of mistakes. They priced it very high, they used very expensive proprietary memory cards, and it all added to it not doing very well. The games on it, there wasn't a huge selection of games, but the games that they did actually bring out on it were superb. They didn't feel like handheld games, they were home console titles squeezed into this very, very powerful handheld device. So you had games like Gravity Rush, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Killzone Mercenaries, Uncharted, Golden Abyss, Little Big Planet, Tearaway, Minecraft, that's just to name a few. Then you had your regular things like Lego games and FIFA. Some of the games, I mean, Killzone Mercenary is probably one of my most favourite games ever. I'm a big fan of first-person shooters, and to get a title and a quality game such as Killzone Mercenary on a portable was fantastic. You have to see it to believe just how fantastic the graphics are and just the gameplay altogether. It is an absolutely A1 first-person shooter title, and it's on a handheld. It was fantastic. It blew me away. I am a big fan of the PlayStation Vita. I was a big fan of the PSP, apart from the fact that it only had one stick, and I was a fan of the PlayStation Vita. Really shouldn't have sold my original one. In a way, I'm kind of glad I did, because now I've got this fantastic Slim model, and what more can I say about it? It's over a decade old. It still has a huge amount of kick to it. The games that you do get on it are so superb. You've got the PlayStation Store, which you can download Vita games from, some PSP titles and some PlayStation 1 titles as well. So it really did make it a fantastic device, and as with most of my consoles and most consoles of a certain age, the homebrew custom firmware scene is brimming with fantastic titles. ports of games from other systems. You could run emulators and run other systems directly on it. There are also some brand new games developed for the Vita by the homebrew community, and it just really shows off what this console could have been, how phenomenal it is even a decade later. The homebrew scene is brimming, and it's got some awesome titles, so go and check that out. It's not as difficult as it used to be to install custom firmware on a Vita. I didn't do it on my last one because I just thought it was a little difficult and maybe a little risky, but there's been some new methods and some easier methods out relatively recently actually, and that's superb. I am absolutely enthralled by the Vita, and I absolutely am loving this slim model. As you can see again, look, just absolutely fingerprints everywhere, and I've not really done anything but from just pick it up. Anyway, PlayStation Vita, fantastic. PlayStation Vita Slim, even better. Absolutely, I mean, it's just a gorgeous console to even look at. I got mine recently, and the second I got it out of the box, I was just staring at it. It takes everything from the original Vita and makes it so much better. It looks stunning from every angle, and well, I just need to stop gushing about it really. So there you go. That is me. That is PlayStation Vita in 2023. That is me with a PlayStation Vita Slim. Let me know what you think. Have you got an original Vita? Have you got a Slim? Would you like to buy one of either of the models? Or do you think that it's a dead console or wasn't that great in the first place? Let me know. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.